This is WizardShack. It's a podcast of sorts. So they say.
Hey, what's up? We're live. Couple things to talk about. New stuff here. This is we were just talking about this earlier. I only saw it until you sent it to me. How Dune 3 is a go, I guess, like completely.
Oh yeah, they already have
Yeah, they already got the release day. You know, like I'm sure they even have the date. Yeah, it says it's gonna be a holiday release in 26. All right, so we are a little bit out. It's not gonna be like this year. It's gonna be like next Christmas time.
I just hope they don't rush it and it's like sloppy and shit, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty far away. I guess it's like a year and 6 months away. That's enough time for them to like do it, you know, like right.
Well, I always thought a lot of what gets shot is not always like used just for that season or whatever. I don't know where I got that from, where I thought like for TV they'll shoot multiple seasons at one time or something.
I think they did for Game of Thrones. And then they used to do, for movies like Lord of the Rings, they shot that all at once kind of, but then they had to do like endless reshoots anyway. So it kind of like, because I think they shot for 5 years or 3 years maybe. They shot for 3 years.
Well, I would think for some of the people involved, you can't wait a long ass time. You know, like don't you remember with Harry Potter, some of the cast members died and they had to get replaced and shit.
And then I also think it's like this is also getting like schedules with
also, don't you like book locations?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's a lot to do, but I mean, like that's probably easier than getting like Timothy Chalamet's schedule. I mean, the guy's like like pretty hot commodity. Same with Zendaya or whatever. So like,
yeah, you want to get this movie with
I don't think that was good, but
guys trying to fight over trying to fuck her, which is
I think, and also being kind of gay. I think too. I think that's also part of it that they're like they're a little bit gay, or I think so. I think that's kind of suggested. Apparently, I hadn't seen it, but heard that. But yeah, like getting these people's schedules, I think can't be easy. And same thing with him. Then he wants to probably do other shit. He's probably like you said. I think he just wants to get it done with. Which I mean, I think he's doing a great job on these, but he probably does just want to finish it. This also might not be the last one either, is what I hear. Like, this shit goes on. There are more books than the Messiah. There's like a couple.
Yeah, this is how hard you want to milk it.
I mean, if it's him doing it, like I would be fine with that. Because you could tell he like takes it to a different level of quality. Although a lot of people do not like the Dune movies. I was kind of hearing that. Like, I mean, I had some coworkers that like, oh, it's so boring. Like, I guess they just think it's boring.
It is pretty long.
It is definitely, like, without a doubt, it's too long. There are definitely some things you can trim, but it's like a big epic movie. It's like I feel like for an epic movie, you expect it to be kind of long. Like I don't want to go see like I mean every movies now is like way too long. Like I want to see something that's like whatever the Planet of the Apes movie that no one fucking gave a shit about. Like I want to see that being like an hour. Like give me like an hour. Nothing like 3 hours. Not of that shit. But movies, man, they're not doing too good. Did you see the Red Letter Media video where they talked about kind of like the death of movie theaters?
Well, I thought that was going to happen when the COVID COVID lockdown happened. I thought that was going to be the end of it.
I think it's like coming. I think it's more like I think the Barbie and Oppenheimer shit last year kind of saved things. And I think like this next year, early next year, I think you're going to start to see a lot of like movie theaters close and shit because there's only one thing right now that actually is making money. Everything else has been like a bomb. Like that Garfield movie is a total bomb. That was funny how I thought that was going to do well.
I feel like that whole franchise has been trash.
I think it's just the younger kids. They don't know about Garfield. The younger kids don't know about Garfield. We know about Garfield. That's it. It's like, like our generation knows about Garfield. I don't really remember
Garfield that well, but
we had like that cartoon.
Bill Murray fucking,
we had like the Garfield and Friends cartoon.
Part of a joke in Zombieland or whatever, but he
Yeah.
regrets doing that shitty ass movie. That's like one of those things where it's like such an empty just paycheck.
Oh yeah, and I think the same thing for Chris Pratt too. Like like he's just doing it for the empty paycheck shit. But it's not working out. Let's see.
Whatever. I mean, he gets paid regardless how it does. But I would think if you're smart enough, you want to have some kind of deal in the back end for a percentage, just in case it hits.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to tell you, I'm banking on that. You'll see some closures of a lot of movie theaters coming, and even like Hollywood has said like, oh, we're only going to release a third of the movies we did last year's, and and that even also wasn't that many because everything's going to streaming anyway. So it's like it's an interesting time for that.
Yeah, but I mean, I just got a new TV and everything, and still, it's not the same as like watching it.
No, it's not, but there's also this, and like this is like what one point that Red Letter Media brought up that I was like, okay, that's a really good fucking point. Is let's say you have a family, you're a family of 4, wife, husband, 2 kids, and
cheese curds.
Yeah, but I mean, like
fried butter.
Going to a movie theater, it's like it's expensive for one person, but imagine paying for that for 4 people.
No, I know, and then they all want to like buy a bunch of
food.
shit when they get there.
So it's like, I mean,
that's
it's
why
gonna be
when I had to go to the movies for certain people, like my aunt, she would bring a backpack and make us like sneak in cans of soda and like bagged food, like
right.
Ziploc bag food. It's embarrassing, you know.
But like just for kids and like parents, like the 4 tickets, that's about $50, and then
I guess that showed us how much they didn't love us. They wouldn't shell out an extra $5 for like a bag of popcorn. We had to sneak in pre-microwaved cold
like that.
popcorn in a fucking bag.
Everyone's got to have a family member that was like this.
I mean, come on. We never went to the movies that often. You couldn't just fucking splurge for one time so I could eat.
Especially like movie theater popcorn's like way better, like.
Well, I've had it where it's like it's way too fucking salty. Like it's just way too fucking salty. And then I don't have a drink and I'm just sitting there like fucking dry as shit just trying to
It's I don't know. I think it depends on the place. I think most.
No, I've had it where it's like amazing. Like
AMC makes it pretty good.
There's no way to replicate that taste.
No, you can't. No.
With like home microwave stuff.
Yeah,
but then I've also had it where it's like real like watery. Like they just put way too much of the spray butter in.
Gross butter. Yeah. That's got to be like at least now they don't put it on like crazy. Like, they let you be like the asshole and put it on like crazy. Like that little squirt thing. I think like now it's actually comes pretty dry.
Like they get the ratio down, and it's like fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
and then it's almost like I don't even care what the hell I'm watching. I just want to sit and eat that bag of shit.
But even with that, so $50 for a family of 4 just to go to a fucking movie, that's the tickets. You're probably gonna spend an extra $50 for the fucking food, so that's $100 right there. If you want to stream a movie, it's just $19 to stream it once. It's like you don't have to pay for
a rental is $20.
Like these, you can rent a movie on like your DVR thing. It'll be $20, but that's you can have fucking.
I thought it was less than that.
Either way, man, you could have fucking 13 people over, and you're not paying for the tickets of 13. You know what I mean? Like you're not paying for the ticket price.
Well,
like that's a big advantage.
A lot of these platforms eventually caught on to the fact that people were sharing out their login information, and they cracked down on all that stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I tried to get on my sister's old Netflix stuff, and it wouldn't allow me to use the login info anymore.
They're kind of taking that away, but it's still like I still have things I use that for. Like my HBO account, whatever. It's not mine.
Yeah. So what I did was I took my old TV and I moved it to another room, and I had that old Apple TV that you gave me still, and it doesn't like none of the apps work, but I can still screen share to it, which is kind of cool from my phone.
Okay, that's good. All right, that's good. Still works.
Yeah, so it's not just like a prop or like some inanimate object, I could still get something out of it.
But this is interesting too with like the whole Red Letter Media just did that death of the movie theater, and then it kind of it's funny. I guess there's always like some weird anomaly that always pops up because Inside Out 2 is actually doing really fucking well.
Yeah, but
Disney's got a hit on their hands.
A lot of that money though is just from kids wanting to see it, and then their parents are just extra money because no one else can take them there. It's not like a bunch of fucking 5-year-olds are all.
I end up seeing it with this. I saw it with this girl I'm dating, and like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. Like, I feel like it was very.
Kids or something?
Was that
with their kids?
No,
They just want to see Inside Out too.
Yeah, she's like 26, so she's younger, So she's.
I never saw the first one. I assume it's actually like a decent enough movie that they decided to make another one. Other than
I mean, and this movie was actually like pretty good. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like great either. I feel like it was very. I'll play the trailer. I feel like it was very segmented though towards who might like this movie, which I think was a mistake. There's like the little girl, like the girl in it's playing hockey. Like, I don't think anyone knows fucking hockey. Like hockey's not a popular sport. Like, not
for us, but it is other places.
Yeah, I mean, this takes place in San Francisco. I don't think there's hockey going on over there. I don't think there's that much hockey going on in California. But yeah, I'll play the trailer.
Riley, how was camp? That was good.
She goes away for 3 days and all we get is good?
She goes away for 3 days and all we get is good?
Yeah, sounds right.
Asked and answered.
Back to the game.
Riley is officially a teenager now. You aren't packed yet?
I'm the worst!
Overreact much?
I barely touched it.
Let the professional handle this.
I'm too gross to go anywhere ever again! Well, that's a preview of the next 10 years.
On June 14th.
I'm anxiety. I am just such a huge fan of yours. Riley's new emotions.
Wow!
Remember when we all finally came up to headquarters?
Nostalgia.
That was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia. Yeah, those were the days.
The Feel Everything movie.
Pillow fight!
Bring it on!
No, anger!
Arrives in theaters.
Ooh, walkie-talkies. Check, check, check. Can you hear me? I gotta press the button. Go for Joy. Copy that. Over. Oh, I love them. Just don't look down and keep moving. She'll be okay, right?
50-50. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
I guess they can get away with that because they got the rights to that.
Reminds me of Monsters Inc. a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? This trailer is actually not that good because I feel like the strong part about this movie is like, like people dealing with emotions. So it's like that was there's a good storytelling.
The writing's got to be good for this to be more than just kids wanting to see it.
Yeah, but again though, it's kind of like I feel like this is a great movie for like a 13-year-old girl or something, and it's like that's kind of limiting
that's
your
the
audience.
main character.
It's kind of limiting your audience, though. But I was thinking about it, like I guess that is like who you want to target these days because those are the fucking people paying for the Taylor Swift tickets. So maybe you want to target that fucking audience because they spend money. Like that could be part of that. Like is it just because they know they fucking pay for shit?
Yeah, and there's this other newer like singer-songwriter girl that Taylor Swift is kind of like championing.
Okay.
And that's just really smart on her part, like
to like fucking start like
I think she's almost gonna like have her own label and then like a bunch of rip-off acolytes. Playboy Cardi did the same fucking thing with all his like fake goth mumble rap people. He created a label and had like a bunch of people that just ripped off his shit. But
oh yeah,
it makes him money in between when he releases stuff. It's like pretty fucking smart.
Right. Exactly.
And people don't care that it sounds exactly the same. They don't give a shit. They just want something that's a little bit different, but still the same shit in the end to fill the void and gap in between. And then when he goes out on tour, he can have all these fucking scrubs open for him and shit.
Right. No, exactly. I mean, this movie is, but also, by the way, like getting pretty. Like, I mean, I thought it was actually pretty good. There were some parts in it that was like pretty like if you're anyone who's having no, I think if you're anyone who has anxiety, like it was like kind of like a good thing. It was like there's a part where like the main character has like a panic attack, and it's like it was interesting. They handled it very well. Like I don't think this wasn't even it wasn't a woke movie. There was like some forced diversity. Like every one of her friends is like ethnic by like, oh, here's the Indian person, here's this, here's someone in hijab.
I've heard like when a lot of people comment on things that are made for kids, the best thing about them is to try and teach them how to handle certain things before they actually have to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think this was like perfect
so
for that.
It's almost like a training course, like Old Yeller. Like when that motherfucker shot his dog in the head. It's like every kid in the world realized like your pet is gonna eventually die.
Right. And in this there's two stories going on. There's the emotions who are like, the emotions from the first movie, which are like these cast of characters, and then
the staple characters.
And then anxiety comes in and kind of like kicks them out, and they get like thrown out into this like way recess of the brain, and have to like make their way back to headquarters. And the other part of the story is the main girl at hockey camp trying to make the team, and she finds out that her two friends that she went to this hockey camp with are going to be going to a different school. And so it's like she's trying to figure out like, oh, do I want to like kind of cut them off and be friends with like the new hockey team because I'm not gonna be with them anyway, and I also want to make the hockey team. It was like the stories are pretty good, and then also just anxiety taking over on the other side, where it's like anxiety kicked all the other emotions out, and just anxiety running amok about what could happen. And that I think was a good like teachable moment to kids, because where it's like that's what anxiety is. It's always like you freaking out over these things that haven't happened, but like you have all the thoughts of, oh, this could happen or that could happen, and like I mean, I think it's a good thing for kids.
But was Fear an original character?
Yes, Fear is an original character.
So why I would think Fear wouldn't get kicked out if anxiety?
Yeah, you would think some of that would stay. I thought that too. I thought like anxiety would keep.
Actually, to me, like it would be like fear and anxiety combined and make everything worse for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, Maya Hawke played anxiety. I did not realize that.
Oh, she's so fucking hot.
Yeah, she was hot.
She's like I wonder if like more celebrities are gonna see this and like try and create like test tube babies, because
like
Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke together creating like
it kind of doesn't look like either of them. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, that's the thing is
she just looks like
sometimes when people are born there's like a dominant chromosome, and then sometimes it's like
a 50-50 split where
mixed together.
Yeah. Amy Poehler's Joy, and she's always pretty good at what she does. Tony Hale is Fear.
Strange with Candy fame.
Tony Hale is Fear, and that's a good.
Oh no, that's not. I'm sorry, that's not Strange with Candy. That's.
No, she wasn't Strangers with Candy.
She is?
I'm quite positive, but I think you're thinking of UCB, but I'm pretty sure she was in Strangers with Candy. But you're thinking of that other lady. You're thinking of the main character, Amy Sedaris. Is it Amy Sedaris?
Yeah, that show is so gross.
I think she is in Strangers with Candy. I think she is.
Nice. It's good Tony Hale still getting work.
And Louis Black was like the anger guy, which I guess Dane DeVito didn't get the part, so
Damn it! You remember like Louis Black's like comedy specials used to be so fucking popular.
Well, I think he's old now. I think he's just not.
Yeah, it's hard to tour.
Yeah.
I was never really like a fan of his, but
I thought he had some bits that were okay, but I agree. I would never like
that with the Daily Show, right?
Yeah, I would never be like.
Dan Lane's the mommy milker.
Mm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Kyle MacLachlan. Oh, Diane Lane. Oh yeah, of course. I don't know what she looks like now though. I haven't seen her in a long time.
I saw her in the Superman movie. She
Yeah.
plays his mom. I mean, she's aged pretty fucking well.
I haven't seen her though since then though. I have no clue what the fuck she looks like now. I'll say that. But yeah, she was always pretty fucking good. I was always a fan of that.
Yeah, she looked really good in that movie Rumblefish.
This is one thing of note with this movie, and I was like, I think this is just how shit goes these days. Was the animation is not impressive. I feel like they kicked out all their like the old guard of Pixar. Like it was kind of like flat. I was actually a little surprised by that.
I mean, do people really even notice that in general? Like it's for kids.
No, I think
like let's cut some costs and they won't know the difference.
I think it's dude. I heard about this. I think it's just they're bringing in people like artists. Like they used to get like if you're gonna be a Disney animator. No, it's like if you're gonna be a Disney animated, they used to get like the best of the best. Now I think it's like they got to check the boxes. They have to. Oh, we have to have the black girl who might be like the 10th best. We have to have some Eskimo, transsexual man, trans man
as an animator.
Right. They might have. I truly think they're checking the boxes on that. I'm almost positive, dude.
I don't think that's where they're doing it. I think they want that represented on screen, not behind it.
It just felt like small, and it wasn't like again. It's only something like when you really start to look at it, you notice it. But like,
I don't know. I don't think like the woke shit goes to that. I don't think people care about who's animating the shit. They care more about what they look like once they're animated. That's when the woke comes in.
I don't know. I just noticed it, like, because I remember the first one.
Also, I kind of feel like all that shit's been a little toned down since how.
It also, dude, it could be a budget thing.
Performing
very well could be a budget thing where they're like, we're not going to spend extra at making this good. We're trying to pump it out.
Dude, when is that Snow White movie coming out with Zeg?
I think that's getting fucking reshot or something. So I think that's still up in the air. It was supposed to come out like around this time of year, so it's. I think that's like getting like either like pushed out. I think Disney is finally starting to realize like we got to fucking change this like trajectory. I also think like what you're seeing now, like their movie plan, like we're talking about like the Dude movie, like you're planning things like years in advance. I think all the woke stuff is almost like their old plan, like, and they're like, oh, we still gotta fucking do it because we already had this plan, like now, and they might, like the next couple years they might change things, but it's,
I've never seen this big ass chart of like every single planned superhero movie that's gonna come out for the next 10 years. It's fucking disgusting.
That's just a fucking joke. I don't know, man. I don't think those are working either. No one gives a shit. I mean, the last big movie, like that was like
people involved get canceled before they even get to release it.
I mean, other than Barbie and Oppenheimer, which are interesting because those were basically, I mean, Barbie pretty much because it's like a different take. It's basically like original movies. Those weren't like the sequel-y kind of things.
Movie and it was all right. I didn't really love it, but
I didn't really
hate it either.
No, and Michael Cera was funny in it. That was what I took away. And I mean,
I like
the one
the
guy's
music
good
too. The music's not bad.
Music's not bad, and the one guy, what's his name? The main guy, he kind of steals the show.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, he's kind of better than her in the movie, which is funny.
He's the villain.
Yeah, but he's kind of like a likable villain.
This is what I like about the movie is that the villain kind of changes to the point where you don't really know who to direct your anger at,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
there's no clear.
Will Ferrell and his whole crew are so stupid that you really, it's hard to dislike them because they don't even know why they're acting the way they are. It's just almost like they're just stuck in a machine.
Right. Oh no, definitely. But yeah, I actually honestly I would recommend this movie, especially if you this would be a very good movie for, like, I don't know, a girl plays fucking softball.
You're like raising a little girl.
I also would say like I think like little boys would like this to a certain age.
Well, yeah, I mean,
to a certain age,
kind of
not 13-year-old boy.
Empathy.
Yeah, I mean, I could see also like high school girls liking this too. Like, like I think at a certain age it gets past the gender, You know, like if you're a little kid, if you're a little boy, like this all works.
No, yeah, like
But,
a lot of the people I follow on IG and TikTok and stuff are all talking about how good it was, and they're all, you know, like internet.
I definitely did have issues with it. I thought it felt small. There is like it could have also been funnier. I feel like the jokes were very like. I mean, there's one really good
you
joke.
want to lean more into the dramatic stuff,
yeah, or the emotional stuff, which I think is smart. Like I think on paper, like this whole idea of Inside Out, like it works so well because you can deal with like emotions. You know, emotions are always good in a movie in general. And when it's like kind of your major point, it's like it's gonna work out. You're gonna like kind of hit people with that pretty well. But there was one really funny part. One really funny part where sarcasm, like in her brain, like opens up like a chasm, like this big like canyon thing. And you know, when the characters are like on the other side of it and they try to talk to people on the other side, they say like, hey, that's really cool over there. And then on the other side, they hear it like, hey, that's so cool. Like very sarcastic. It was a funny bit. That was a funny bit. That was probably the best bit of the movie. Otherwise, the comedy was kind of flat. Kind of flat. You would think it'd be better. Pixar used to be good at like making like funny things for everybody. You know, like, or at least trying to. I don't know. Even like look at like I don't know if you ever saw Toy Story 3 where they're like about to fucking die in the conveyor belt. But
no, I just
and I'm not a fan of that Toy Story really in general. Even like the first one, that never really did it for me as a kid. Like I don't know. I kind of never liked 3D shit. The 3D shit never really did it for me. I always kind of liked. Even when like the Toy Story model of all this 3D animation, I was always kind of like, yeah, but where'd all the fucking drawing shit go? I always liked that. I think a little better. I don't know why. I don't know. I always felt like it was weird looking. You know, like that Spike Kid in Toy Story is like fucking creepy looking. You know?
Yeah,
that Uncanny Valley shit. You know?
He reminds me of like people I grew up with that killed little animals and stuff. And
yeah.
Then a lot of times people say those people grow up to be serial killers and
yeah, no, there's some truth to that, man. There's some truth to that. So House of Dragon. What's your notes? What was your notes for this week? You got to tell me about this.
Well, I didn't have any last.
Well,
I was just so like fucked up the first time I watched it that I didn't take anything away. And
let
then,
me play the trailer.
But the second time I watched it was during the day, and it's like I don't like watching stuff like this when it's light out.
Yeah,
like, I need the whole fucking room to be dark.
Kind of need a mood. Yeah. Here's the trailer for this.
Okay, so
hold on, let me go to the trailer.
Is sacrifice. It eclipses all things, even blood.
I declare war!
You have wounded me, weakened my claim to the throne. Cannot trust you, Damon.
The war be fought. Many will die. The significance of Viserys' intentions died with him. And now all that remains is to fight for our dignity.
Fuck dignity. I want revenge.
News spreads through the realm. The great houses will come to our side.
We must break the will of our enemy.
You have no idea the sacrifices that were made to put you on that throne.
We must seize the hour and act.
I don't think this is
before our enemy does.
That didn't seem like that was actually the episode trailer, right? That felt like other crap. That wasn't even in this fucking episode. But yeah, what did you think of what did you think of this episode?
I don't know. I mean, I
didn't love it. I didn't hate it though either. I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't like I'm just trying to like remember half the shit that's going on. It's hard for me to really have an opinion.
I know what you mean. There's a lot of
like
people,
I can't recall a lot of the names and people and stuff, but there's certain things that happen that I have questions on, and just certain things that I'm like kind of trying to figure out.
Well, this definitely dealt with the this is post the killing of Jaharis, so the little baby's head got cut off.
So
sewn back on.
Okay, so one of the notes I have is I thought, and I guess cheaply, when the carriage got stuck and they were trying to pull it out of the like
it was pretty horrifying.
That the baby's head was gonna like fall out.
Oh, me too. I kept thinking. I think that was my first thought. It's funny how like I guess you know what? I give the filmmakers credit for that because that's exactly what I fucking thought too. I thought like, oh, this fucking kid's head's gonna fall off in the fucking
Okay,
road.
so that leads me into
it's pretty good.
Else, which how it ended is the woman that's fucking the Kingsguard guy. She said in an interview that all of her sex scenes were much more graphic and there was a lot more nudity, and they cut it all out. And I'm thinking, like, why are they holding back so much?
It's because Gen Z doesn't nudity.
What I loved about Game of Thrones is how like disgusting and nasty it was, and like
and kind of sexual.
They would go to places that were kind of grimy. This just feels a little bit more like tame. And I
was thinking about that too. How I
feel like Game of Thrones used to be almost like Braveheart meets like a softcore porno from.
Well, there was like a little sexual situation in this movie.
All about like just being
like Aemon was with some
disgusting and shameless, and now it just feels like they're trying to lean into the writing and dramatic stuff. And
yeah, I mean, they're avoiding it.
They had the edge to it all.
And
you know,
Alicent is pretty good looking. Rhaenyra as older is not good looking, so don't do that with her. But Aemon was with some older looking prostitute in this episode.
One of the notes I had is like, who's this bitch? I don't remember her from anything prior.
No, obviously, like it's a older prostitute that he's into, in like kind of
a
but
non-sexual. It doesn't seem like he's trying to fuck it. He's just
I think in like
suck her tits and lay
like
around the.
I guess a weirdly motherly way.
Mommy complex he has where his actual mother wasn't there enough or something.
I mean, I think he's fucking her too, but I think it's like both. It's
that's
assumed
what they
he's fucking her.
For him not being his room when he was supposed to get killed.
Right, he was with her. Yeah, that's what they said. He was at. I guess. I mean, I'm assuming he just spends all his time at the brothel. That was obviously a brothel scene that we saw there.
Well, so, do you want me to just like go through all the notes I have?
Go through the notes.
They're in somewhat order of things that happened during it. So, I was wondering, like, the Hand of the King position, if he could have kept it, if he just stopped being such a diplomatic bitch the whole time, and just say fuck it, let's go out into open war. Like, let's.
I think he's gonna be back
alliances and just go 1-on-1 and just fuck him over.
No, I think
the little bitch wanted.
I think that little bitch is gonna realize. Yeah, no, I need to. I think he just
even
made
it's not best for him to do.
Yeah.
He could have at least saved his job.
Yeah.
Or do you think...
but the Otto guy is good. He's one of the better actors in the series.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Actually, it's not a good movie, but one of the main things I remember him from is this shitty-ass Keanu Reeves movie called The Replacement with Gene Hackman.
Oh yeah, he's like,
and he plays the kicker that is got a lot of betting debts. Yeah. And he's supposed to miss the kick at the end of the movie.
God, that was like 20 years ago.
And he makes the kick, and then he doesn't. Obviously, he doesn't die because that movie's a big soft pile of shit. But
dude, that's got to be like, that's fucking 24 years ago. That movie, by the way.
What?
Doesn't feel that old. The Replacements.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not a good movie. And you know who has a funny part?
Hold on. Isn't he also in Little Nicky? Isn't he the bad guy in Little Nicky?
Yeah, he's in Little Nicky.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's made me think of that era.
It makes me feel terrible about myself.
Yeah, it's a very grimy movie. Popeyes is the shit, isn't it?
Popeyes and Pugs.
Yeah. I didn't know who the fuck.
Pugs,
I didn't know who the
cool,
fuck.
But they have
Who the
I
fuck
feel
is
bad
this?
for them because they come with this sinus issue.
I didn't know who the fuck this guy was the whole time. I was very fucking confused on
He's
this.
the brother of the guy who saved the ship guy.
Is he the brother or the son?
I thought they were brothers.
The brother of the Valerian guy with the white dreads? I think he's the son.
No. He's the brother of the bald guy who saved him when he almost drowned.
Okay.
And then he was
sure.
saying that he wanted to capitalize on that moment and
I was lost on that.
Go to the guy and say, like, listen, man, like, you know, I saved your life, hook me up. Because they're both really poor. Their family comes from
they're like
little standing and
pirate
money.
sailor
So
kind of family, yeah.
the fact that he, like, you know, did that shit, he went to his brother and said, like, fuck, man, like, we're just trying to work our way up through all this bullshit. You easily can just elevate us and almost make us like captains of our own ships if you wanted to.
Right.
And he wants to be all fucking noble and shit and say, no, I don't want to. I mean, in a way, it's also kind of like degrading that what you're really known for in the moment is just being like selfless and saving his life because of what your like job is, but at the same time is like, fuck all that shit, man. Like, we could be living so much better now if you just swallowed your pride and said, like,
right,
I did this for you.
That's
do
the
this
thing,
for
man.
me.
There's prideful people in the Game of Thrones stories. You know, there's like the Starks. They're like too prideful for their own good. You know, like that kind of shit. We've seen it in this.
Well,
in
also,
though
the Starks, they hold oaths and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
it's
in
but
a
it's
way,
different
it
type of
feels
people.
almost like legally binding.
Yeah, different type of people though. You could tell with I mean, it's crazy. I love how this whole show. You know, there's still the same areas that we've seen. You know, like we've seen Harrenhal, we've seen other places.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
love the
I like
design and lighting of this room where it has all these open spaces.
The cinematography.
I don't know why the
great.
whole time I was thinking that somebody on like a dragon can easily swoop in and just incinerate the whole room if they knew they're all in there.
And also, like the showrunner of this series, Ryan Condal, whatever Condal, he feels like he's trying to do the good series, like the good seasons of Game of Thrones. So I'll give him that. Like he really is playing into like when it used to be good. You know, it's like I like that about it. It feels more like season 3 of Game of Thrones than like season 8. You know, that kind of shit. Like everything.
Okay,
like,
so
yeah, what's your notes? What's your first note?
I thought it was weird that the twin that denounced the former shit he worked with still decided to wear the same shit all the time. You know? Like, why didn't they outfit
Why
him
did he
with
have
stuff
change his outfit
for him? Why
Good
is
point.
he walking around in the shit of the place they just removed themselves from?
That's a late note. What that's later on though.
Like his garb should not be identical to his fucking brothers. You know, it doesn't make sense other than
it's a storytelling. It's a storytelling
kind of sloppy writing to have that happen. To
no,
me,
I think it was a mystery thing. I'll get into that. What's the other notes?
Well,
hold on.
what is a draft from a Meister when you're trying to go to sleep? Is it like some
the Maesters?
Yeah, like is it like some?
It's like an alchemy or a potion.
Liquor, or is it like what is it that they concoct that makes you instantly be able to fall asleep?
It's probably an herb or like a bark.
Well, I was going to drink it.
Yeah, it's probably an herb or a bark that's been like concentrated into like a potion type thing. I mean, the Maesters are basically like alchemists and like kind of sorcerers and kind of priests. Like it's like a medieval alchemist, which you're basically all three of those combined. Where you're kind of a sorcerer, you're kind of an alchemist, you're kind of a priest, kind of that, you know.
So how did the twin know that he was in the building? Was it based off of like just
The twin found out from that whore.
Or I thought it was
that
more
whore.
like smell.
No, that whore. So the whore was walking to the harbor to go to her boat, and she knew that the guy was ahead of her. She knew the twin was ahead of her or behind her, and then she saw the guy walk right past her. Like she just saw the twin. The other twin was like, wait. So she runs to the other twin, which we don't see, but at least it's implied. She runs to the other twin and said, I just fucking saw you.
Fucking two times I watched this and I missed that.
They should have probably had the scene where you see her like run to the fucking other person.
No, it's good that you noticed that because I watched this shit 2 different times and I didn't catch that.
Well, because I watched that she was like, when she saw the other twin come up from the harbor, she was like, she did like a double take. Like, what the fuck? You were just up there. So I think she ran back up.
Also, I was thinking because I remember, them being in the last couple seasons, but I don't remember a lot of them. What was their relationship like? Did they not like each other? Why did they not just decide to go to the same fucking faction?
No,
is there a reason why they chose to?
Yes, there is. The one, like they were both sworn to the Kingsguard. They're both sworn to like the the capital city King's Landing. They're both sworn.
That's why
to
they're
the
still wearing that shit,
right? Because I guess he was still wearing it, which is weird. But they're both sworn to the Kingsguard. Actually, it isn't that weird. I'll explain.
Oh, and also
I can kind of cover that up.
The fact that the other guy told him to go clean his shit up, like his cape was all muddy.
Yeah.
You would think that the other guy's stuff is probably dirty as fuck. I mean, he's only got one
cape
set of shit to wear.
But yeah, all right. So they're both sworn to the Kingsguard, and the brother that's with Allison just thought it's like that would be treasonous to leave the fucking kingdom, and the other brother thought, no, the real queen is her, so it was like basically like a split of like they were both being honorable to what they thought. That's basically what it is, and he was basically trying to be Kingsguard for Rhaenyra, who he thinks is the queen. So it's like that makes sense also why he's still wearing the Kingsguard, because he thinks I'm still in the Kingsguard. Other people, like the bald guy, he's still wearing the Kingsguard outfit too. There's a few people still wearing like right here, they're still wearing the Kingsguard outfit.
Well, I think a part of it too is just it helps you in general just to have that level of recognition amongst everybody else. Like you don't want to like walk around in some t-shirt and jeans and shit when you could be wearing stuff that shows you're at a much higher level than everybody else.
It was also a fucked up thing for Kristen Cole to have this guy do that in the first place. That was also like you're seeing how like Kristen Cole's kind of like a fucking asshole, like a huge asshole. Although we've seen that, it's just like it just reinforces that he's like a fucking asshole. Like.
Okay, so another note I had is and it was somewhat explained, but not fully. What happens to the Hand of the King when they get fired? Is it a demotion?
No, they're done.
Or is it full on exile?
No.
You go from like vice president to working in the cabinet or something?
No, I mean all right. So if you're gonna get the Hand of the King spot to begin with, you're probably like a nobleman anyway. So Otto.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So like you just go back to like lesser political stuff.
Kind of. I mean, Viserys, the king before this, the one that was all crippled, he fired Otto from being the hand of his king. He fired him. So Otto just went back to. I mean, he's a Hightower, so he's got a castle in the Hightower land, which is like. That's actually in Old Town where the Maesters are from. So he went back to his fucking castle.
But don't you remember the dialogue with his daughter when he talked about being in exile?
Yes, right. He was in exile. He was trying to get back the whole
then
time.
That would be like a choice.
He wasn't in exile though, really. It's not like he was banished. It was basically just like, oh, I'm gonna go be rich at my fucking castle in fucking Hightower.
Okay.
Yeah, they're noblemen. I mean, it's that kind of thing. Like, yeah, and I mean. I guess the only time that like we saw a hand of the king being like thrown the fuck out is Ned Stark. Like he got thrown the fuck out and his head cut off.
That was one of the most.
But that was the only time we've seen it. But most of the time it just sounds like it's
not only did his head cut off, but it was put on a spike, and his daughter had to fucking look.
I mean, I just think if you're gonna be the hand of the king,
That's
you're
what I'm talking
obviously
about, man. Like Game of Thrones compared to the shit is so much more brutal and fucked up and
oh,
violent.
dude, I don't know, man. We had a fucking little 6-year-old kid that got fucking his head cut off and like brutally, and then sewed back up. I don't know. There's still some brutality. Or even
Yeah, no, there is.
I don't know. There's brutality to this.
There is.
Like,
Okay,
I tried
so
showing the
another,
first episode. I tried showing the first episode of this to like the girl I'm seeing, and she was horrified. Like where like the king, like the old king, his wife is like having a baby, and he has to choose like like the queen or like the baby, and he chooses the baby. You know, like they're like tearing her up, they're like ripping her open to get the baby out, and like meanwhile there's like a jousting competition where they're like fucking bashing each other's face with shields. Like it's pretty brutal, man. It's not far off from Midsummer, man. Not far off from Midsummer. The brutality of like faces getting fucking stomped out, you know, that shit. I don't know. I think it depends on the person, but Kristen Cole, definitely a douche. And then also we had in this episode we had, you know, Eamon decide, like, he found out that every rat catcher was involved, so he killed all the fucking rat catchers. And he did get the right guy. He did find the right guy and killed him, but I guess he killed like 20 other people. And that was kind of fucked up.
And being a
That's
rat
what pissed off.
catcher is such a, you know, probably lowly peasant job, but it's weird that at the same time you have that much access to the absolute hierarchy of the people you work for.
I don't think it's that lowly of a job, actually, in this time period, because
really, you think like a rat catcher gets paid better than a lot of other jobs?
Dude, I think you're in the fucking castle. You know, you're in
do you
like
think that is,
yes, I think it's actually a pretty high paying
job. Do you
job.
have like the bubonic plague at this time where it's really important? It's almost like you're like,
this is fictional,
almost like a nurse or a doctor.
This is fictional, but so we don't have our real bubonic plague type times. I mean, I'm actually surprised that George R. Martin hasn't had that in his like canon, that there is like some plague. I'm sure there are. I don't really know Game of Thrones canon, like
dragon scale shit, you know.
They had the dragon scale shit, but that's basically leprosy. That was leprosy. That's
yeah, but still,
leprosy.
That's like somewhat of a
leprosy is different than bubonic plague, though. You know, like leprosy is.
Speaking
different.
of that Nosferatu trailer looked really fucking good.
Looks really fucking good. Also, I just watched. By the way, I watched Midsummer Hereditary again, and what the fuck is Ari Aster doing making that fucking crazy ass movie with Joaquin Phoenix? He should be making more fucking horror.
I was afraid because he was sick of being pigeonholed in horror.
He did 2 fucking movies. like, what the fuck? Do another movie.
I don't know.
2 movies is enough.
I'm just saying that's why he did it.
I don't know, man. He should be doing more shit. Like,
did you see that? Is it any good?
It's not good. It's bad. It's really bad.
Really? Because I
didn't like it.
I saw that Dream Scenario movie with Nicolas Cage, and part of the reason it got made was because he was kind of like in that similar mindset and financed part of it.
It could be that. What's your other notes here?
Good, man. I don't know if it's just
never seen it
because of Nicolas Cage's performance, but I liked it a lot. But it does do this, you know, if you don't like the whole something happened and then you realize it's a dream, you're gonna hate this movie because it does it over and over and over again. You know?
Yeah, I get that. It's a cheap
but in a way, it's
method,
almost like
if it works, it works.
The feeling to a point where it gets like ridiculous. You know?
Right. Well, what's your other notes
then
here?
It almost like creates a whole just other feeling, like you're numb to that sensation, and then it just gets good. I don't know. It's a good movie. I liked it a lot, and Nicolas Cage is just I don't know. He's just undeniably good.
Likable.
Like,
he's likable. He's likable. He's a likable. There used to be celebrities. He's one of those.
Because like the part is definitely a little bit like his part in Adaptation.
Sure, it's true.
But I don't think it's like a reference to that, even though he looks similar to that character.
Yeah, I know the trailer of all that movie, so I've never seen it, but I know what it's like.
It's good. I would definitely check it out. Dream Scenario.
Oh yeah, back to this.
Oh, and I just had one more note.
Hold on. Well, Daemon is going to Harrenhal, which is in between King's Landing and the Westlands, like the Hightower spot. So he's going to a strategic position because this is like, I think we're about to see like a big ass fucking battle. That's all I'm gonna say. We're about to see a fucking big ass battle, and he's going there on purpose.
I mean,
fucking thank God though. We need it.
That his son got murdered. It's almost like when like 9/11 happened. You have an open.
Oh yeah, you've got an excuse.
Declare war on an entire territory,
but then also they fucked up.
Or why
they fucked up, killing the wrong person, and now Rhaenyra looks like an asshole.
Get away with whatever you wanted prior to that.
It's weird though, because now Rhaenyra looked good, and now she looks like an asshole because she just killed a fucking little kid. You know, so it's an interesting. It was a misinterpretation. That's like you could tell. Like,
but I forgot about this. That he had this fucking motive the whole time, probably built in. You know, he doesn't really probably like or love her whatsoever.
No, I don't. She knows. She knows.
It's just a vehicle for him.
That was pretty
to
talked
stick
about.
Around.
No, he just wants to be like exactly what she said. He wants like his money and his heir to the throne and like his kind of nobleness. That's all.
Yeah, that's why he kept he
doesn't really like her.
Poor girl.
I don't think he really likes any.
It's like a mole.
He was married to that black girl. I don't think he really like he doesn't like any of them. Like, you know, like I think that's pretty clear. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah, all that like fake blonde black hair looks so weird.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I was thinking about it like, you know, you were talking about like having like, you know, like hot young people in the first Game of Thrones series. Like you could have like a fucking hot young blonde white girl fucking the, you know, her son, and it would be kind of hot.
Yeah,
like you could
really
do some
like
you could do some sexy stuff in this, and they're like avoiding it. Now
there's
like
not like a Sophie Turner or Amelia Clark I can think of going from this to like other stuff.
And now like the black girl that's in it is like she's not
it
like
feels
that
pretty
attractive.
mitted out.
You know, like yeah, exactly. It is. It's mitted out.
But that might be almost like a practical decision where then you don't have to think about investing in anybody, you know?
I guess so. But yeah, what was your last note? You were going to talk about it.
What is the little bitch king actually crying about? The fact that he kind of fucked himself over by firing the hand, or just everything's just too much for him to handle?
No, I think he truly truly did love the son he had. I mean, I think that he's like a little bitch, but I think he does like have like you know, he liked the little kid. Remember, he called him into the meeting to like ride on the fucking guy's lap.
No,
like,
that's a good point.
I think it was more like him expressing his emotions.
When all that stuff happened, it felt
kid
like
just got killed.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was like realistic.
Like, why
I get it.
Have him there and force him into that scenario and all that?
And then going back to
me, I thought it was just to undermine everyone around him and make a joke of the whole situation. But then now it has a whole other level of shit going on.
And then the last thing I have to talk about is the fight here between the brothers. I thought this was fucking awesome because in the end, you don't know who the fuck which one won. You know what I mean? Like I fucking love that. Like you couldn't tell who won.
Well, and also the fact that he like committed seppuku on himself
but that could have been either one. That's what was awesome about that because that could have been that could have been the attacker. I mean, I assume.
Yeah.
Exactly. I assume that it was.
No,
like
this shit is good. I am like
that. That was a great scene.
I'm very happy that it's like continuing the level that it left off with because a lot of the reason why I like the first season were the cast involved. So the fact that they pretty much neutralized most of that, and it's still. It's good, you know. It's just I'm hoping, you know, they don't like rush whatever they're trying to do for season 3, because that's already locked up, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they're slowing. They're actually. I was talking to like, I work with a guy who's read this book, and he said how they're purposely slowing shit down because they're gonna do a season 3. Like it was supposed to just be 2 seasons. He said like. The first episode and 2 episodes should be like big battles. He's like, but they're like trying to, I think, kind of like slow it down to make it 3 seasons. which I'm fine with because it's actually all been good. So, but it has been slow, but it has been good. But I really love the fact that you don't know which the fuck brother won, because I think either way, whatever brother would have won, they would have killed themselves like that. That I love. I thought that is like, that's awesome. You know, like I figure exactly like, even if the attacker brother won, the one who was trying to kill the fucking, Rhaenyra, I think he still would have fucking killed himself before killing her. You know, like that was that. I was like, that was good. I was like, that is fucking good. And even when they started fighting, my first thought was like, oh, they're both gonna fucking die somehow, like where they, like neither one can actually win. That was like what I thought. So it was pretty close to that. I did like that. But in the book, this is all a retelling of. This whole book is actually retelling of the story to another Targaryen, where they're retelling the story, and it's all between two perspectives. One perspective is like this little jester called the Mushroom guy. It's like a mushroom, his name is. And then which is like very exaggerated. So that's super like hyper storylized. And then the other perspective is a maester who's super like conservative. So this whole book, apparently the book is not that great, but like you're hearing both perspectives, like the exaggerated version and like the conservative version. So in your head, you're trying to make up like what actually happened. And I think that's what the show is actually kind of showing. I think this fight right here was kind of from the exaggerated mushroom guy perspective, but it's a
one
cool.
Of them taller than the other. It's just the way that's shot.
I mean, my coworker said that the guy who was protecting Rhaenyra is the one who killed himself at the end. I couldn't tell.
Wait, do you think they're actual?
They're twins.
Yeah, twins, or yes, they just AI'd or CGI'd?
No, they're twins. They're twins. But apparently, he said that the one who was protecting Rhaenyra was the one who committed seppuku or whatever.
Yeah, seppuku is just when you take a blade and shove it across your intestines. Oh, yeah.
I watched Shogun, so I know all about that.
But it's weird. They do that, and then they have somebody behind them that cuts their head off.
Right.
So why don't you just have your head cut off? Why do you go through the excruciating pain of disembowelling yourself to then have the release of your head cutting off?
It's the act of it to like. It's the act of it to show that you would do it, and then someone kills you right away. That's what happens in Shogun. It's like, I mean, they go into each other for a second, and then they do it.
I've heard so many people say how good it is. It's almost like turning into The Wire.
I mean, I would say Shogun is probably like, honestly, like probably better than we've seen so far in this. So Shogun's really good. Shogun's really good. Really good. The only thing that's not good about it is the white guy who's like kind of like a mock Tom Hardy. He's not good in the show, but everything else is good.
Who directed and wrote it? Well,
I don't know. I don't think anyone. No one of note. I know that. No one of note.
The last note I have is, it's kind of awkward. The daughter of the Hand of the King just got replaced by the guy that she's secretly trying to fuck the whole time. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's
I'm
why
sure that'll get even more messy. But
yeah.
She said in an interview that all of her sex scenes were supposed to be more graphic, and they cut it all back. And I'm thinking, like, Game of Thrones is like known for being like almost
graphic.
Borderline
porn,
softcore porn. Yeah, it's like why are they like denouncing?
I don't know. I don't support that either. I don't support that because. I mean, give me the grime. I don't know. I mean, but you know what?
That's part of like why I fell in love with this. Like it felt almost like some.
It's a generational thing, man. I'm telling you. Like the girl I'm dating, she's 26, and she does not like sex scenes in movies, which I think is strange because I like sex scenes in movies. I'd rather be grimy. They feel uncomfortable.
It's not even about that. It's just like
it's weird.
The fact that they're willing to do it, It's not really even about, for me, watching it. It's just the fact that they'll go to that level,
Right. Well, here's
because like to be respectable, you want to lean into more the dramatic stuff.
Oh, by the way, I can't show any.
How it kind of bordered between being some really disgusting, cheap slop and well-written, well-acted stuff. I don't know why, but
I agree with that. I totally agree with that because I
think
think
high and low art. combining
that.
to be.
We like that 70s grime type feeling that I think is gone. But I love that 70s grime type feeling. But here's the trailer for next episode. So let's watch this. I've not seen this. I don't know if you've seen it. I have not seen it.
No.
I was waiting to watch this.
We must press what advantage we do have.
And what is that?
Dragons.
Good. To war then.
Soon they will not even remember what it was that began the war in the first place. When the desire to kill and burn takes hold, reason is forgotten.
Perhaps the presence of a dragon will sharpen minds round these parts.
There was a war brewing.
There's more than one way to fight a war.
We must do this terrible.
Oh shit! So they're totally setting up a big battle in this next episode. Obviously, that's cool. They need it. They need it. We've been building up to something, so I get that. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Nosferatu trailer. I wanted to play this. It looks fucking dope. It does. I mean, this fucking guy over here. Robert Eggers I don't think he's done anything wrong yet. He's not like Ari Aster, who did a bad movie with The Beau's Not Afraid. This is pretty good. I think his record is really good. He's got a 4-0 record right here. He's that kind of guy. Here you go, Nosferatu trailer. I'm excited for this. This is one of the better things I've seen.
Come to me. Come to me. Hear my call. Come to me. Professor, my dreams grow dark. Does evil come from within us or from beyond?
He is coming.
He is coming.
He is coming to us.
He's coming.
Who is
By the way, in the original movie, they do that hand over the city like that in the first movie.
I thought that was from the Disney fucking shit.
No, they do that in the original movie. It's actually kind of awesome.
But you know what I'm talking about? That Disney movie where it's a bunch of different things all mixed together.
No.
You know what I'm talking about. It's the dinosaur one. It's a bunch of different clips. It's hippos dancing.
Fantasia.
Yeah, Fantasia. You don't remember that part?
I don't remember a claw going over. I know that. In the
Yeah,
original movie.
no, that was in Fantasia.
Oh, okay. But shit, looks pretty good. Fucking good.
child?
We got a crew.
I like that. Robert Eggers is sticking to his style.
For now.
No, I hope so though.
We are here encountering the vampire. Nosferatu.
Yeah, it looks fucking awesome. Shit, yeah.
I
It looks
still need
great.
to fucking see the fuck that Braveheart ripoff he did.
Oh, and the Northman. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Great. I love the Northman.
Nah, I
Fucking
need to see
love that
that
movie.
shit. Fuck. That's on Plex,
that was
right?
that was better than expected.
Yeah, it just sucks it didn't make much money.
No, it did really, but I think it was a bad timing too. That was not not too far off COVID and shit. Like, you know,
Woven, yeah.
you got all that shit. You know, here we go. I'm gonna play for trailer for that too.
I got a Woven story for you that
Tell me.
This guy I work with told a couple days ago. It's fucking insane.
What happened?
So he's like an older, not morbidly obese. He's pretty big, but not like he can't walk around. And
right.
So he got his third booster, and a week later, he just had like no energy in his body.
I fucking wonder why.
And then he ended up going into a coma.
Jesus fucking
for 2 weeks, and when they revived him, he said that they put him on fentanyl, and he was having all these insane
dreams,
hallucinations.
Yeah,
like he was on acid. Which everyone replied, I don't want to say his name. You've taken acid before? And he goes, well. And then he said that his body was like so weak from being in a coma, he had to rehabilitate his entire body.
Yeah.
And, he did like a lot of like pool stuff, like just swimming in like a pool, which apparently is like really fucking good because you don't put pressure on your lower body,
and you
but
work
you
on
can
muscles,
still exercise everything.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so he basically got drugged by the government and almost died.
Oh, and it's been coming out more and more how like, yeah,
but
we
he
made a
wasn't
mistake
saying
with
it like vindictively at all, directed to anybody. He was just telling us like what happened.
But that's been coming out. I think all these companies are actually admitting like, oh yeah, that thing we gave you guys wasn't that good. That actually was cancer. It's coming out. It's.
No,
I mean,
I
think I'm glad I only
not
took
in good
fucking
health. I'm hoping like he lives as long as he can because he's just like
don't fucking take any more of that shit.
He always like
shit's not good for you.
Says like very inappropriate stuff all the time, which in a way like offends a lot of people in the office, but also loosens a lot of people up.
Right.
And it's just nice to have him around, you know.
I love that. Oh,
yeah,
here's
yeah, he's almost like a cartoon character more than a person.
I like that. I like when you have someone who's actually keeping it real. Here's the Northman trailer, which you should watch.
No, don't show me it. I just want to see it.
You should watch the trailer. There's not much in here.
Behold.
He's here. He's here.
Mother! Father is here!
The king, milady. The king.
Your fate is set and you cannot escape.
Oh, by the way, I think the Nicole Kidman being in this movie takes me out of it because she looks. I kept thinking like, oh, they had plastic surgery in the Viking times. That's what I kept. When I look at her, I just think plastic surgery.
Yeah, I know. I think that she butchered herself.
I've missed you, my son. One day this kingdom will be yours.
Thank you, Father. My king.
This is kind of the same shit as Hercules.
No, it kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones-ish, actually. That
Remember, for whom you shed your last teardrop.
That's Bjork.
I can feel now. I will avenge you, Father! I will save you, Mother! I will kill you, Fiona!
I will avenge you, Father. I will save you, Mother. I will kill you, Fiona.
It's more like Gladiator.
Why would you
it's similar. A little more
I
violent.
love that movie, man. I don't know what it is about it. I can watch it like a million.
What is that?
The kingdom. You must choose between kindness for your kin or hate for your enemies.
Your strength breaks men's bones. I have the cunning to break their minds.
And night by night, we will carry out my pledge of vengeance.
I will avenge you, Father.
I will avenge you, Father.
I will save you, mother.
I will save you, mother.
I will kill you if you let me.
Why do you think it did so poorly?
I think it was the time, man, because this shit's fucking awesome. Like, it's fucking awesome. And, like, I don't know.
Oh shit, Bjork's in it?
Yeah, Bjork's like the weird little fucking witch lady that's in part of the movie.
Yeah. So Bjork's mother has actually worked as a fortune teller.
Oh well, I mean,
I love Bjork. I've watched like
there
way
is
too many interviews with her. The
Icelandic culture, man.
I know that, but
the Icelandic culture still has those connections to the pagan shit, and same with like a lot of the Northern Europe's like culture. It still has all those connections, and
no, I love Bjork. She always picks out really good production, like electronic music stuff and glitch and all that kind of stuff.
And even like, I mean, there's so many like all the old cultures, the old pagan cultures, man. Like, they're fucking crazy. You know, all the old Druid cultures of like the you know, Ireland, Scotland, England, all that shit. It's fucking crazy. And then it got wiped out by, you know, Roman conquerors and all that shit. Even fucking the Greeks and the fucking Macedonians, crazy ass fucking magic and weird shit going back then. That also got kind of wiped out by the Christian culture. But crazy. Like look up Alexander the Great's mother and all her fucking, I think her name's Olympias. Look up like all the magic, the Greek magic she's into, and the Macedonian crazy shit. All the pagan crap is crazy. That's what I think I like about the Northmen. All like the pagan culture of old Europe. You know, it's crazy. All white people stuff. White people magic. You know, gotta have that white people magic in there. No hoodoo or voodoo, all that shit.
No, it'd be nice if there were more voodoo represented and stuff.
Yeah. Go to
Wait, when's the last time you saw that on some shit? Predator 2?
No, American Horror Story did some stuff with voodoo. I remember.
I haven't watched that since.
Me either. It was this goes back. It goes back probably 10 years ago.
The one, Roanoke, and that was not bad.
Yeah, I think this one's like the one with the witches, the Coven, whatever
That's
that one
the
was.
First seasons.
I think it's season 2, but still, that goes fucking back.
With Emma Roberts.
Yeah, she's in it. Yes. But they're in Louisiana, and you know, in Louisiana, you have a lot of the influx of the Caribbean culture.
No,
and
I like American Horror Story, but there's always a certain point in the season where it like really runs out of steam.
No, it also gets too gay. It gets like super gay, and I'm like, all right, this is just too gay. Like, I mean, like literally homosexual. It's just like It's like this. You just made it too homosexual. I think I'm out. Like, I can't watch this. Like, I'm not gonna watch some like fucking gay bald dude in a fucking hotel dressed up with earrings. Like, oh no, it gets very gay. It gets very gay mid-season.
Well, that's why they got Lady Gaga involved. They know their audience.
That was the season. That was the season where I was like, this is too
that was when the guy got fucked up the ass with the like spike dildo.
Yeah, exactly. And then I
was
like,
pretty fucked up though for television. Like, that's pretty graphic.
It's also like American Horror Story. It always feels like they have like 3 or 4 good episodes, and that's all they had like in mind, and then everything else is just like a crap.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like
it just
either
goes
runs out of
downhill.
steam or it kind of just doesn't know how to finish it. I don't know.
That's an issue. Also, I think
but I
that's
always
something-
like feel kind of empty in the end, or like something's missing.
like I think the things they do should be movies and not like a TV show. And then there are things that should be.
I don't know. I feel like they want to be
TV
like,
shows, not
Twilight
movies.
Zone really, really bad.
Like Harry Potter probably would be better as a TV show because it's such long content, kind of like Game of Thrones. You have so much content that you actually can't show in a
Really,
movie.
you don't like Harry Potter movies?
I like the first 4. That's it.
The best one is the
Azkaban.
travel one.
Azkaban. That's the best one by far. That one's fucking great. It's one of those Spanish directors that did it. Forget. One of the Mexican directors did it, and he's probably
I
the
think
best.
it's the guy who did Children of Men, right?
Yes, I think it's him. Yeah. All right, man. I gotta head out, dude.
Okay.
Till next time, Wizard_Shack. Love it. I'll see you. Got 60K in Disney stock. Get that stock up. Inside Out might help. All right, I'll see you, man.